All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Got my co-host back, Robert Benenati.
Hey, I'm back. Thanks for having me.
We're talking fitness today a little bit here and there.
Are we?
Yeah, but this is not fitness, I guess.
What are we talking about? You always surprise me with these subjects.
We're going to get into posture and how it affects everyone, especially, in my opinion, men. I talk a lot about it in my Mastering Self-Confidence program, that the way you carry yourself has such an incredible impact on the way people treat you. And I don't think a lot of men realize this, or women, I should say. I shouldn't just categorize men. But the way you stand and the way you address people, the way you walk into an establishment, the way you shake someone's hand, with the posture you have,
Yes.
eating at dinner.
That's language. That's body language.
That's it. I don't care. A business meeting or just sitting casually, if you're interested in meeting a woman, or you could be at a coffee shop just chilling by yourself. What does your posture represent about you? What do you think?
It's very important.
I mean, it affects even the way you sound. If your posture is, if you're, you have certain different types, how you project your voice.
Yes. Even the way you focus while you're working. Everything, I think. I'm always correcting my wife. She tends to slouch a little bit while she's on the phone and doing things, and I'm always pushing her, pulling her shoulders back. I notice, so I'm very aware of my body and my posture.
Yes.
When I sit for long periods, we tend to just let go of our body, right, and just deflate. And what you're doing is you're curling your back,
Yes.
right? So your shoulders coming forward, your back is curving, outward towards the back, and I start having back pain. And I notice that right away. So the first thing I do is I stretch. I pull myself up.
Yep.
Pull my shoulder, rotate my shoulders.
Back.
One turn back, and that sets me back in the position. Am I going to slouch again? Yes, but it's going to take me.
Yeah,
maybe
of course, if you're watching television or something,
right,
in
another
that nature.
8-10 minutes before I kind of like go back into, especially if I'm working on the computer.
Yeah.
But overall, for me, is twisting my back a couple times a day and just cracking my back.
Right.
Helps me release the pressure and discomfort. And I always, like I said, I'm very aware of pulling my, walking with my head up, number one.
Yep.
And rolling my shoulders back.
And pushing your chest out is kind of what you're saying.
Automatically, as soon as I just rotate them back, my chest comes out, and I'm, standing straight. With what you said, with confidence and all that, going into an establishment, going in versus entering. I enter a place.
Yes.
You walk in, you open the door and look around with your eyes up.
Yep.
Looking at people, versus coming in and trying to hide and find the corner. That it's just body language. Especially if you're in business networking, you enter a place. I always use the word automatically, subconsciously. I use the word enter versus go into.
Yeah, I mean, it affects the way you breathe even. But I think the younger generation, but I think I fall into this category a lot too as well sometimes, is we're used to looking down at our computer or our phone. So it's not only our back, it's our neck. So we kind of got that C going, I call it. I'm fortunate, like yourself, we've been working out our entire life. But I think what helped me throughout my life is I was in the bar nightclub industry with my father, and he always wanted me to represent myself as I was older, even if I was younger. But collecting money too,
to be taken seriously. So
yeah, even if I'm 16, I can't walk in looking like a 16-year-old. I got to walk in looking like I'm 21.
Yeah.
And that's one is kind of being arrogant, like this is no big deal to me. Like I've been here before, I know it.
And people pick up on that. That's that energy.
Yeah. I don't walk away from, like, if somebody's carding me with a fake ID, I walk right up to them gangbusters. And I'm almost offended that they're carding me, even though I'm underage. So I'd be 18. They're like, hey, can I see your ID? I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, of course you can have my ID. What the fuck? You think I'm in college? Like a bad attitude, kind of like throwing it back. Or if there's an issue, I don't run away from it. I kind of step up and stand in front of it. And collecting money my whole life, or even traveling, I think my posture is what carries me the most to say, hey, and believe me, 2 guys can beat the shit out of me like anybody else, or 3 or 4. But if they look at me and say, you know what? I don't know if I want to mess with him today, just by my posture.
You're creating that doubt.
Yeah, I'm creating an image, and that's working out or anything. And my mother always used to push my put her hand on my lower back and push my chest back.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a lot of times we all have different postures, but a lot of guys don't realize just by standing up a certain way, what Tony Robbins talks about, like if you just stand there, what's he say? Put your hand on your hips for like 30 seconds a day, like the Superman pose or whatever, how that starts to change the image of how you perceive yourself.
You're pulling your chest out, your shoulders back, and you put your arms like you just won something, victory stance, with your hands on your waist, and just head up and look around and just feel that arrogance, kind of attitude.
And it doesn't mean it's a bad attitude. That just means you're confident in yourself, in your body, and how you want to present yourself, and also health reasons. I think now sometimes if you stand up straight, you could get typecast and go, is that a military guy or is that a douchebag?
Well, there's a difference. Well, this is the thing. There's a difference between entering a room for guys, all right?
Right.
I think I don't know women, but I'm sure it's the same thing. But me being a guy, so I walk into a place, right? I enter a room full of guys. Most guys would probably enter with their shoulders rolled forward, eyes down, not really looking, not making contact with anyone. Right? Just gazing and just kind of going to the bar, going to the bathroom, or just getting the table, sitting down. You have that, that option. You have the option of walking in with a bad attitude.
Right.
And you're
looking like an asshole.
Right. Because you're trying to make up for that insecurity. Or this one, I think, is the best one and confuses the hell out of everyone. You walk in, normal.
Yeah.
You make eye contact, and you nod at some guys. Like, hey, how's it going? Just
a smile.
Like, just
and
smile.
Nod.
Just a nod.
That's
to
all you got to do.
And it's like, well, this guy nodded. I don't.
Yeah.
They don't know how to react.
Yeah.
Because you didn't come in with a negative attitude, like a badass attitude, but you didn't come in looking like a wimp either. Right. He came in. He's got the confidence to nod at me.
Like most guys at our gym, they all have, for the most part, great posture. They're in good shape.
Right.
And we all nod at each other.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like if you walk in a bar, everybody's hunched over a bar. Now you're in a different element.
Right.
Not saying that one's more secure than the other.
But some people just overdo it, and
of course, when you're puffing your chest out like you're the shit and you're extremely arrogant, of course. I went through that with my stepson because I'm always telling him he's very hunched a lot of times because he's like a lot of young people with the video game or phone. And I would tell him, dude, stand up straight, man. You look great. You got a great body. You're tall. You're 6 feet and all this. He's like, Rich, I'm kind of a geeky nerd. I'm not the guy who's going to walk in and this and that. I'm like, dude,
it's not about that.
It's not. It's about just healthy, too, because, as you age and you get older, that's going to be a problem. I'm not just saying this so you look confident.
So what exercises would you recommend for people to do to correct their posture or better their posture?
I'll tell you one thing. I think I talk about this in my Mastering Self-Confidence program, not to pitch it here, but a lot of people don't truly know what they look like just standing or doing certain things. Videotape yourself, even eating, for instance. What do you look like when you eat? Be nonchalant about it. Videotape yourself, okay? Even videotape your voice. Take pictures of yourself standing from all different directions. You'll get to see what your body looks like and your posture. Don't pose. Like if you're taking a picture, all of a sudden you may, like some guy suck in their stomach. No, just stand there naturally. First get an idea of what you truly look like doing these things. Even sitting at Starbucks, have someone you're at Starbucks, say, hey, buddy, take a picture of me. Take a picture of yourself and see what your posture's like. Start with where you kind of want to improve. Where's your strengths and weaknesses? You may have great posture sitting at Starbucks, right? But then when you're standing talking to somebody, you're entirely hunched over with your hands a certain way. I'm just saying, for instance, what helped me throughout my life, honestly, is just weightlifting or stretching and paying attention. And I think being in a gym with a lot of mirrors, I can see every type of angle, like what I'm doing is affecting how I'm standing, if that kind of makes sense. Or if I'm sitting at a certain type of, it could be at a bench or whatever, again, I'm seeing what I'm doing there and building my strengths. Because again, you may be standing up straight, but your neck is always dropped down your head.
Right.
Or you may be hunched. You may not just be like a regular hunch kind of guy. You may have your back and your neck both of them hunched. Or you may be hunched on the back and your neck is sitting up. I don't know what it is. But we first got to establish what I think you need to work with or what you should work on.
Yeah, stretching for me helps a lot. Like just getting a yoga mat.
Yeah,
my wife does yoga, so there's yoga mats all over. So I pick one, throw it on the floor, and stretch make sure my back is flat on the mat. My neck is, the back of my head is touching. Lift my, curl my legs up, stretch side to side. That's one thing. The working out, I know when I need to go work out and work out on my core.
Exactly.
Because I could feel
a lot of it's core.
Just flabby and weak, and that's what's giving on my spine is the fact that my ab section is not. Now, there's a difference between you can have a belly, but have a strong ab muscle.
Of course.
It's just covered by all that belly fat.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have a weak lower back or weak midsection. So you want to create a strong midsection, even if you have the belly fat, because that alone is going to keep you upright. Versus just not working out at all that's going to happen is you're going to sit in a chair and you're just going to go flat, right?
Right.
Everything just collapses, and that creates pain, that creates attitude. You're not going to take deep breaths because you're not, all that pressure you're putting on your lungs.
Yep.
So you want to open up your chest, right? You want to sit up, pull your shoulders back, and
yeah, and a lot of people underestimate too their posture. It's not always leaning forward. A lot of people lean maybe too far back, or they're always leaning on one side. Rhea laughs. I call it the crooked guy or crooked girl. Do you ever see somebody, they're always talking to you and they're kind of like leaning left?
Yeah.
After a certain amount of time, that's going to take a toll. Even if you're working at a desk and you're always, say, leaning left on one elbow way more than the other.
Or driving.
Driving, you're kind of positioning yourself. That could take a toll not only on your posture, but your shoulders as well. Everything you're doing has an entire effect on your entire body. So if you're leaning way back again, like say you think you look, I don't know why you're leaning back, but some people think they're either super cool or they just may be in pain too. And if you've had surgery or you're hurt, because my aunt was born a couple months early and she's had back surgery, her posture's all over the place.
But not even having an injury. Like normally, just because, like you said, the way you sit, the chair you sit on, the car you drive, how long are you driving a certain way?
What the chair, how it's set up in the car.
Everything. Everything. I have a friend, he's a chiropractor. I go see him once in a while and just have him stretch my back.
Yep.
Correct my... Sometimes he puts you down on your belly, right? You're laying down on that table, and he looks at your heels, and he says, well, your left side is
the way you walk
right.
Again, posture.
Like, you wouldn't even know that. And then he says, okay, turn to your side. He snaps, he cracks you, he does all this. When I get out of there, I feel taller. Really.
I've never been to a chiropractor.
Really. And secondly, I walk differently. My whole posture is, especially my neck. I know how to correct my neck by my,
right.
And I'm doing that a couple times a day because that releases all the stress on my neck, right?
Yeah.
It's not pinching anything. Make sure it's flexible because you're looking down at a screen, your computer, your phone. So, stretching, posture, go to a chiropractor. There's this place by the gym. It's called Joint.
The stretch thing?
Joint something.
Joint stretch?
Joint
joint something. I don't know. Find what works for you.
You go in. You pay. I think this is a monthly of $39.99.
Yeah.
You can go in every day if you want.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to go in every day, but you go in a couple times a week or once a week and have your whole back corrected.
I'm going to wrap it up with this. If you are starting to have issues with your back or anything, and then you start changing your posture to not want to deal with that, that's going to probably have a long-term effect on you. And I think I even went through that. I was pulling my back out a lot when I was younger from wrestling, from doing a lot of throws and then deadlifting and squatting heavy. I'm talking in high school. I was a lunatic. And then one of the reasons I was always hunched over a little bit is because I had back pain. I'd even sneeze and blow out my back. But I realized I had to figure the problem out. Instead of me becoming weaker, I had to make my back stronger. So it even could be doing, good mornings. I don't even know if you know what those are in a certain type of weightlifting. You could use them with a bar. Or just for instance, if you're standing straight up, just going up and down to strengthen that lower back. A lot of times the pain you're going through is because you need to build strength. But definitely don't revolve your posture around your pain. All right. We're doing selfies here while we're shooting. But, all right, you got any questions or comments, hit me up. I love doing these subjects with Robert. It's a different perspective. And I'm telling you, I talk about it in my program all the time, man. You don't realize the way you stand and the way you sit and the way you, even when talking to people, or it's not just like a presentation. A lot of people just look at people that you have to have a certain a certain look when doing a presentation. Presence. Your whole life is this, you know what I mean, is basically meeting and talking to people. It could be work. Yeah. And don't underestimate, you know.
That was a good one.
The power of the what the hell were we talking? The
posture.
The posture.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, I forgot that word. That's all I got for you today. If you want to know more about me, I'm at richcelenza.com, or my program is masteringselfconfidence.com. You can Google me and find me anywhere. Robert's not going to tell you where he's from. He's off the grid right now. So, my email is rich@richcelenza.com. All right, take care, everyone.